Hey friends, welcome back to the Cloud channel. If you don't know me, my name is Katie and I hope you've had a gorgeous start to the year. I have so many bookish goals this year and one of them definitely includes posting more bookish videos to the channel. So this is the first one of the year. I very kindly got book vouchers for Christmas, so I thought sharing what I was starting the year off reading was such a good idea for our first video. I'm also so excited to read and talk about these books, so I couldn't be happier. It's so extremely likely I'm gonna devour these books this month, so let me show you what I got. I've also been approved for some really exciting arcs this month, so I'll share them with you at the end as well. All of these books are rhyme and reason, so I don't know where to start. My Kindle for all my arcs. I bought all 5 of them online. 2 are from Blackwells and 3 are from Waterstones. Okay. You know what's so annoying about shopping online as well for books? Like, I ordered these in 2 separate orders and they came in 5 separate packages. Each book came individually packaged and arrived at different times. She has an order. Okay. The first book I bought from Blackwells was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I have been wanting to read this book for so long. The reason that I haven't picked it up so far, it's been on my TBR for ages, and then when I finally thought like I'm finally gonna take the dive, I went to look for it and all of the copies I've got this bloody sticker on. I don't know whether you've noticed this Ryan Gosling sticker. So every time I've saw it I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait to find one, like maybe like on Vinted or something like that without the sticker on it, because I don't want a Ryan Gosling sticker on my book honestly. But it's like a printed one as well, so you can't, it doesn't come off, you know the deal. Anyway, while I was on Blackwells, I saw it and it didn't have the sticker on the picture. So I was like, have I finally found one? I say finally, like obviously the sticker's only been on there for a bit, but like ever since I've wanted to pick it up and finally like dive in, it's had the sticker on the book. And I was thinking, if I just order it, see whether it comes, and it arrived. I opened the package, the stickers on the book, what can you do? I think also as well, like I really wanted to get this book done before the film came out. Like I cannot watch that film until this book has been read, and it's supposed to be so good, you know the deal. I'm literally just noticing it says soon to be a major motion picture starring Ryan Gosling on the back as well. Listen, maybe I'll read it and then try and swap my copies somewhere else. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why I'm making it such a big deal. It's just so ugly. From what I know, my very basic understanding is this book, a science teacher gets sent up to space by himself to save the planet. And actually that's all I do know. But it's supposed to be one of the best sci-fi books that has been released in recent times. I might be overstretching there, but I've heard really good things. I need to read this immediately, and it might even be my first one after this video. I kind of saved reading them until I'd filmed this video because I just didn't want to ruin the vibes. I'm so excited. This really might be my first. I think I've got to like March. I think the film comes out in like March from what I know. Also, my dad has recently started reading this book, and I've literally like told him he cannot tell me one singular thought about this book, whether he thinks it's good, whether he thinks it's bad. Like I don't want to know. Just wait until I've started before you start telling me your opinions. So it's kind of like a buddy read with my dad. I'm so excited to start this book, honestly. So she's number 1. Okay, the second book that I bought from Blackwells is War by Hugh Howey. To be honest, this hasn't been on my TBR for long. There is a really good TV show on Apple TV called Silo, and it's based on these books by Hugh Howey. I believe there are 2 more in the series next to this one. I think they're called Shift and Dust. I don't know how much is covered in the TV show, if that makes sense. I don't know how far they've got in the book, in the TV show, so it's going to be a super interesting read for me for sure. From what I know of the TV show, basically humanity lives underground in this underground, basically humanity lives below the surface in this underground bunker, like a silo, because above the ground is like uninhabitable. You can't live up there anyway, or that's what they're told. Basically kind of forbidden to talk about the situation above ground, and the main character Juliet starts to uncover some truths As to the reality of the situation, honestly, I really enjoy the TV show. I think there's 2 seasons. I'm not sure whether they're doing a season 3, but I really want to know the full story. Like, I'm sure this is going to have so much more details than the TV show also. It's super suspenseful, it's super dystopian. I don't know how much the TV show covers, so I'm not going to say any more. It's just really good. I'm dead excited to read this one also. Okay, on to my waterstones. I'm going to leave my favourite till last. I feel like some of you might know what that one is at the bottom. It's so obvious. Well, obvious to people who know. You've definitely just seen what I've grabbed. I have come into the new year with like the ethos, if that's the right word, of wanting to be more well-read. And I know that phrase comes with a lot of debate, a lot of controversy, and I don't mean it in that like pretentious way. I just mean, listen, I've only started reading again for like the past 2 years, and I just feel like I need to be reading more outside of my comfort zone. Like, I'd like to stretch the genre of books that I read and be a bit more inclusive of different things that I don't know whether I will enjoy, but I might, and I'm not going to know till I try. And I'm going to start with what I think so far is what I'm going to start with, like more classic books. I had no clue where to start in this region, so I thought, like, what did we read when we were younger, like at school maybe, that is like classed as like a classic. So in my school we read Animal Farm by George Orwell. I remember not hating this book in school, and I feel like that's a good start. One, I don't remember it being so small. You know, like when you read books in school and you're like, oh my god, like when are we going to finish this book? This book is like tiny. It's literally, oh my god, it's literally 95 pages long. The writing is like pretty small. I mean, I feel like I don't need to explain Animal Farm to anyone, but like, yeah, I don't remember hating it. I thought it would be a good start because it would be something I'm like somewhat familiar with. And also, since I left school, so I'm 27 now. I think we would have read this in school when I was about 14, and back then we kind of just, obviously, like, you take it as face value, and then like you've got to like, Haley's wife wore red because that kind of like analysis. But also in my later teenage years I was really into politics. I've kind of somewhat fell out of the love for it now, obviously, with like the state of the planet and the earth and just everything that's going on. However, I feel like I'd have a much different perspective on it now, so I'm really excited. It's a bit of a stretch, I'm not gonna lie, going back to read something from school, but I am excited to read it. I feel like this will take me like an hour max, to be honest, so I might just read it tonight, I'm not gonna lie, before I start Project Hail Mary. Listen, I am intrigued, but this is like my first classic of the year. This is like the start of me like becoming a bit more well-read in like my definition of it, not in like the pretentious Twitter definition of it. Also, like, what do you think of this cover? When I unboxed this book, I was like, what is that around the pig? And if I just like show you, I don't know whether you can see, there's like a blue, like blue, pink, yellow, blue like highlight of this pig, and honestly it reminds me of TikTok. They like TikTokified the pig from Animal Farm. That is like TikTok logo colours. I feel like that is the wrong take to make. However, that's what the cover reminded me of. It was this or this really big angry pig looking one. I'll see if I can find and show you. But I just didn't like, and I was not going to own a book like that. One thing about me is I will judge a book by its cover. I love pretty covers. To be honest, I don't really think any of these are like super pretty covers, but you got to do what you got to do. This was the best we got. So my first classic of the year. If anyone has any other classics that they really enjoy, that they think I should read, please let me know, because I would love to be pointed in some kind of direction. I'm really like stumbling around in the dark after this for sure, so please let me know. Second to last, we have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm gonna completely level with you. I do not know what this book is about, other than the fact that it has dragons. That was the main selling point for me. like dragons and I'm sold. I actually have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon in my bookshelf downstairs that I haven't started yet, and I think I got that in about June last year, and I really like the look of it actually. I just haven't really got around to it yet. I feel like I feel like I'm more inclined to read that one before I read this one. However, the reviews for this were also insane. It's got dragons in it. I can't imagine I'm not gonna like this book. It is absolutely huge. She's a big one. Like, whilst working, this would take me a long time to read. I feel like this cover is also super nice. Is me judging books by covers as usual. It says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. Dragon Queen, maybe? You think I'm along the right lines? Oh, it actually has Bone Season at the bottom of the book. Also, what I didn't know when I bought Bone Season, slightly off topic, is that there are so many books in that series and I did not realise. But yeah, we now have this in our collection and I am excited to read it, but I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. I did say I'd literally be reading these all this month, however, not sure about that now. Okay, we're about to get around to my favourite book. My favourite book that I bought. I haven't read it yet, but it's a sequel to one of the favourite books that I read last year. Honestly, I might start getting sick of how much I speak about this book because I really enjoyed it. Finally, we have the second book to the Language of Dragons series by S.F. Williamson. I finished Language of Dragons on Boxing Day and I didn't realise that the next one was due out on the 6th of January, so I immediately ran to pre-order. The pre-order came 3 days early, so I had this book 3 days early. However, when it came, I was like, oh my god, I need to read it, I need to know what happens next. And then every time I'd pick it up, I was like, oh, but do I want to, like, because I know once I've read this, like, I've got to wait for the next one, like, my little anticipation is all gone. So I haven't started it yet. But I have it in my hands and just having the knowledge available is enough for me at the moment. This book is so pretty, and honestly I don't usually buy hardbacks. I don't usually buy special editions, to be honest, just because I haven't really been like a hardback girly. However, this was only £2 more expensive than the standard hardback and I could not wait for like 8 months for the paperback to come out, so my plan was just to buy this and then potentially maybe sell it when the hardback comes out. However, I am not selling this copy of the book. It's so pretty. That's my usual plan. I also don't know whether to just become like a hardback person because I'm not sure whether that sounded so great. I don't know whether to become someone that collects hardbacks as well, just because they're usually so much prettier than the hardbacks. But the paperback, they're usually so much more pretty than the paperbacks, but the paperbacks are just so much easier to have and read. I literally haven't even took the sticker off it yet. For example, as well, like the new Hunger Games book, I have been waiting for the paperback of that to come out and it just isn't like out yet, and I've looked online and there's not even like a release date for it. At this point I think I'm just gonna buy the hardback and read the book. Like, I can't wait any longer to read that book, so maybe I will become like a hardback collector slash person. Anyway, she is the sequel to A Language of Dragons and I enjoyed that book so much. I gave it 5 stars. It was probably one of my favourite reads last year. The first book is set in like a alternate Britain where like humans and dragons have like a peace treaty, and the main character ends up doing something where like a civil war breaks out and she has to help solve the situation without saying too much, because I really want you to read this book. Like, I could not recommend it more. It's given dark academia. There's also a decent enemies to lovers plot in there for anyone who needs a little romance in there. I'm genuinely so excited to see what happens next, but I really just want to like save it. Like, once I read this, it's over. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the next one's due till like the end of the year, start of next year. That's a long time to wait. I'm gonna read it this month. I just need to process. So these are the 5 books I'm starting the year with. If you've read any of these books, please let me know. I would so love to discuss anything and anything with you, even if they're on your TBR, just like me. Okay, just before we go, let's talk ARCs. Okay, I am super new to ARC reading. I think I joined NetGalley around the 18th of December last year, so I haven't even been on there a month. If you've never heard of NetGalley, it's like a platform where publishers can post new upcoming books on there, and you can apply for like an advanced reader copy before the book has been released, usually in exchange for a review, like a post to socials, stuff like that. Kind of like an opportunity for you to read books early, and obviously then the publisher and the author gets like free press by you sharing the review, stuff like that. I got told when you first go on there, like apply for like the least popular books, so you're more likely to get accepted. So you can like get accepted, and you've got to like build your rating, and obviously the better your rating, the better your profile, the more likely you are to be approved for the popular books, is what I'm told. Honestly, I kind of threw that knowledge out the window because I didn't want to apply for books that I didn't want to read, just because I don't have all the time in the world to read, and I really just wanted to be reading books that I thought that I was going to enjoy, and that I was going to enjoy like recommending to you and anyone else. So I didn't really do that. I just went through and applied for a few books that I knew that I would want to read for sure, like 100%. Honestly, in the first few days I applied for like 3, and I didn't get approved for any of them, which is like, of course I wasn't going to get approved. I applied for 3. My profile was on like new, completely new, never reviewed a book in my life. So I went back on there, applied for like 10 more, still books that I would want to read, because I was like, even if I get 1, like it's just worth a shot, like just apply for them. I'm not going to be able to read 10 at one time, obviously, but just apply. I think it turns out that just everyone was on Christmas break, because like as soon as like the 5th of January hit, I was approved for like 5 arcs, and I didn't panic a bit, but I was just like, oops. I really need to get a move on starting them and reading them. It was also so exciting because I genuinely only applied for books that I was really excited to read and I really liked the look of. To start off, I'm currently reading a book called Honey by Amani Thompson. It starts off with this girl who flicks a bee into the drink of this not very nice guy. He ultimately gets stung, and she didn't know he was allergic, but he starts to die, and she kind of just watches him die, lets him die, and it's kind of like his serial killer arc. The commentary throughout is honestly really engaging, and it's really good so far. I think I'm about 75% through now. I would totally recommend it. It gets published in May, so it's definitely one to look out for. I haven't put the others on my Kindle yet, just because I want to keep up to date with what needs to be read and stuff like that, so let me get my NetGalley up. It would be boss if you wanted to load there, fella. Okay, I have 3 books on my shelf at the minute. The first is Witch Season by Julia Bianca. The second is Natural Disaster by Lisa Owens. And the third is Sublimation by Isabel J. Kim. I think I'm most excited by Sublimation. It sounds so good. I'm going to get around to these as soon as possible, and I'm going to make another video to let you know what I thought and whether I'd recommend them, whether I think that you should read them as well. I'm definitely not going to be applying for any more arcs until they're finished. Like, why did I think to apply for 10? Why did I think that was a good idea? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, whether they're on your TBR, whether you enjoyed them, whether you disliked them. All your thoughts I'm so interested in. Please let me know down below. Also, if you've got any new books for Christmas, or you treated yourself to some new books, let me know that as well. I want to know all the things. I'm really going to try my best to be posting booktube videos every single Sunday. I'm going to try and make them as interesting as possible, so look out for a new one next Sunday. Fingers crossed. I'm really going to try my best. In a bit, friends.